Hi everyone, Shabbat Shalom, and let us continue with the Torah portion called Behakoisai, Behakoisai. We've been studying this Torah all the time. That we must learn the Torah, we must study the Torah, we must observe the Torah. When the word was given, when the Torah was given to Jewish people, and they were expected to keep this Torah all the time. The Torah was given to this Jewish people in order to set their life, in order to walk with the Torah in their lives. You know, uh, they were crying. They were crying when they received the Torah because they couldn't able to follow the Torah exactly when it was read for the first time. There are five books of Moses, of five Tanakhs, and then it has been read five times in a year, completely thoroughly. Whenever they read these things, they receive the strength and the power and the courage after listening, after reading this Torah book. So these statues or the Torah statues or gives the power and strength to everyday life that they can walk. And if you read the Torah and if you observe the Torah and if you make the Torah as a part of your life, and then the blessing starts pouring in. That's the time that blessing comes to you. Jewish people were expected to receive these blessings all throughout their life. But how they can receive it, as I said, that they must read the Torah, they must study this Torah. So, there is a festival called Pesach Sheni that comes before the Pesach. Remember that we studied, the 3 days calculation of Jesus' crucifixion. One of the festival was Pascha. These are the festival that Jesus was every year. He was attending this festival. He was rushing to this Pascha festival, and he wanted to participate in the Pascha festival. Before celebrating that festival, there is one more festival they do, which is especially for the people, those who are far away, those who could not able to come to the Jerusalem every time. So those who are for the far away people, and also those who have done impurities or sin intentionally in their life. Even if you have done some intentional sins in your life, there is a way to get rid of that and get back into Judaism by observing this festival and coming into the Jerusalem, observe this festival, and then dwell into the Torah, and then start reading the Torah, and you can clean yourself and get the blessings again. So a Jew is not complete unless he enters into the world of Torah. He must enter into the world of Torah. God, it is the word of Torah is God's word. It is God inside the Torah. The Torah is God. So God had only one treasure, and that treasure, only treasure, was given to the Jewish people. That's the Torah. So the only treasure we must obtain, we must take in custody, or we must possess, is the Torah. Torah is nothing but the Bible. That's what the Bible talks about. The only thing in the world that we can achieve, the only thing in the world that we can get is the Torah book. A Jewish must dwell in the Torah life. Torah is a must. Bible is a must to read. We have to read. We have to get all the blessings of the these Torahs. So in one of the things that I wanted to really talk about is that when you there are there are 12 months in a calendar year. The 12 months calendar year represents the 12 tribes. The 11th month is called Shavuot, and there is a month of Joseph. Do you know what is meant by Joseph? How it was Rachel called him? Rachel, if you go and read the Genesis, I think chapter 20, 30, 24, something like that. I think chapter 30, verse 24. If you read that, in that chapter, Rachel tells that he is an additional one for in her life. So he offer that that name Joseph because he's an additional one. He's included one. He's an added one. So in order to you receive the Torah, you read the Torah, but you cannot keep it with you. It has to be shared. It has to be, gone into the world and bring forth all the fruits. So as you enjoy the fruits of the Torah, you have to bring the people from outside. It's like, when you light the one candle, if you lit the candle should be lit to other candles also. Even though if you're lighting all the other 100 candles, your candle will never diminish. Your candle will never lose its power. It still has the same power like any other candles which is you're lighting it up. So you must share it. You have to share it. So you cannot say that, if I share this one, probably the other candles will, lit brightly, I might die. No, that's not the Torah talks about. Torah talks about you will be, sharing, and you'll be, lighting the candles to the other people. So when you say about the Torah, like Jewish people must do this one as, as part of the life. So now, one thing I'll tell, there are some sins if you're not reading the Torah. There are almost 7 sins if you are not, or if you're destroying the covenant or the commandments. There are almost like 7 sins in this Torah book which it talks about. Number 1 sin is you don't read the Bible. Don't read the Torah. That's number 1. You have to study the Torah every single day. If you don't, that's a sin. Second one is doesn't do. It's not only that you study the Torah, but you have to do what the Torah tells. If you don't do, then again, it's another sin. The third one is that, you have to begin reposed by other people. Do the mitzvahs. If you don't, then again, you become other one sin. And the fourth one is, you become despised if you don't read it. If you don't read, you become poor because you're not observing the Torah, you're not studying the Torah. And the fourth one, you're almost becoming despised and you're becoming poor. And the fifth one is it prevents the other from engaging mitzvahs. It's another sin. That sin, what it does is when you don't read the Torah, when you don't practice the Torah, it will prevent others also not to read and not to engage in the Torah. And then that causes one more severe sinful action. And the sixth one is the stage begins denying the Torah. You start denying the Torah. There is no Torah. Forget about this Torah. Forget about this Torah. Because that's the stage 6, folks. This is 7 stages. That's the stage 6. You start denying the Torah. Once you start denying the Torah, number 7th stage is you will deny God Himself. That's the greatest sin that you will ever have in this world. Number 1 sin is you are not reading. You don't read the Bible. You don't study the Torah. Number 1 sin. Number 2, you don't do according to this Torah. Don't do according to the Bible. Number 2. Number 3, you are opposed by the other people to do the mitzvahs. Number 4 is you become, because you didn't do this one, the 4th stage will be very poor stage. You're despised and poor in words, poor in everything. You become despised. Number 5th is you will be preventing other people also not to study the Torah. Number 6th one is that almost you are denying the Torah. Number 7th one is you are going to deny the God Himself. So in order for a Jewish guy to live in this world, Torah is his food, Torah is his breath, Torah is his life. He must read, he must study, he has to do all these things in his time. Otherwise, he is not a complete Jew. Okay, that's what the Jewish thing is. So, well, we will establish a little more thing about this one because I wanted to tell you something about this, one more portion of this Torah. Leviticus chapter 37, I think the last chapter, verses from 32 to 34. It talks about a different thing. It talks about very a different one because what it says is um, if you're decided to offer an animal. Now you pay the money and everything. You have you destined the animal to sacrifice, but all of a sudden you want to make a change in it. You don't want to offer that one. Maybe due to some reasons. Probably the reason could be maybe you wanted to offer a better animal than that, or maybe you may be willing to offer a small or a lesser value animal than that. However, this Torah, this statute, what it tells is, even if you're changing the sacrificial animal, but the holiness is being not changed. Both the animals will get the same holiness, same holy, both of them together. It's not that one is exchanged from one to another. Both will be having the same holy, the same holiness. So why should both have the holiness? What is the reason for that? Because we are already changing it. This is what I said. In a few minutes before, when we light a candle, the candle will never diminish its light, even if you light 100 candles. So it has to be shared. The life has to be shared. The Torah study has to be shared. So the King Solomon also says, the candle of the good deed and the knowledge of the Torah will light up the entire world. The candle of your good deed and the light of the knowledge of the Torah will light up the entire world. Jewish people are the light of the world. That's what God called them. So they will light up the world. There are, as I said, that the Joseph the story. He was an additional one. So as a person, we are supposed to bring in some additional characters in our life, additional people in our life too. A candle never, called as a candle, or never get its complete name as a candle until unless it is lit. The light is a Torah. Otherwise, if it is not lit, it's kind of a lump of wax with a wick in it. Wick means a string in it. That's what we call it. Candle means the name candle completes itself. When you call a candle, only when it lits, it's been completely called as candle. Otherwise, it's a lump of wax. It's a lump of wax with a wick in it. So the light is a Torah, and the wick is a soul, and the lump of the wax is a body. As we read the Bible, as we read the laws, as we study the statutes, we are supposed to light the world. We are supposed to partake in bringing the light to the world. That is the purpose of a Jewish person. God has given us the opportunity to become a Jewish person. God has invited us to become a Jewish person. And He wants us to, because in the final days, God is going to come back into Jerusalem, and He's going to be, landing up on the Olive Mountains. And if we do not know anything to do with that one, we don't want to be left over like that. He already given us a call that you are the olive branch to be attached. God has given us the biggest responsibility to become a Jewish person. And He accepted it. You may think that, how come I become a Jewish person? You want me to go and circumcise myself? I'm not asking you to circumcise yourself, because circumcision comes through your heart changes. It's not that those things have done long ago. Even at the time of Paul, they had a big problem that some of the people were making these, customs that in order to become a Jewish person, you have to become, you have to be circumcised. But it was discussed in first century itself. It's not. you need to do like